Have you tried to buy a car lately? If so, you might have been shocked by the price tag. Cars are more expensive than ever before, but why? What's driving this surge in car prices? It's not just one factor. A perfect storm of problems has hit the auto industry. The pandemic, supply chain issues, and even simple economics all play a role. Let's break it down and understand why getting behind the wheel is getting so expensive. It's important to understand these factors if you're thinking about buying a car. By the end of this essay, you'll have a better sense of the market and whether now is the right time for you to buy. The first thing to consider is the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. When the pandemic hit, car factories around the world had to shut down or reduce their production capacity. This led to a significant drop in the number of new cars being manufactured. At the same time, demand for cars didn't decrease. In fact, many people who previously relied on public transportation started looking for personal vehicles to avoid crowded spaces. This mismatch between supply and demand caused car prices to skyrocket. But that's not the only issue. The global supply chain has also been severely disrupted. Many car manufacturers rely on parts from different countries, and the pandemic caused delays and shortages in these supplies. For example, the shortage of semiconductor chips, which are essential for modern cars, has been a major bottleneck. Additionally, the cost of raw materials like steel and aluminum has increased. This has further driven up the cost of manufacturing cars. And let's not forget about labor shortages. Many industries, including the auto industry, are facing challenges in hiring enough workers, which also impacts production and, consequently, prices. Another factor is the shift towards electric vehicles, EVs. While EVs are becoming more popular and are seen as the future of the automotive industry, they are generally more expensive to produce than traditional gasoline-powered cars. The investment in new technology and infrastructure for EVs is also contributing to higher prices. So, what does this mean for you as a potential car buyer? It means that you need to be more strategic and informed when making a purchase. Research different models, consider both new and used cars, and be prepared for higher prices. It might also be worth waiting if you can, as some of these issues may resolve over time, leading to more stable prices. The pandemic, supply chain issues, and even simple economics all play a role. Let's break it down and understand why getting behind the wheel is getting so expensive. It's important to understand these factors if you're thinking about buying a car. By the end of this essay, you'll have a better sense of the market and whether now is the right time for you to buy. Let's break it down and understand why getting behind the wheel is getting so expensive. It's important to understand these factors if you're thinking about buying a car. By the end of this essay, you'll have a better sense of the market and whether now is the right time for you to buy. It's important to understand these factors if you're thinking about buying a car. By the end of this essay, you'll have a better sense of the market and whether now is the right time for you to buy. By the end of this essay, you'll have a better sense of the market and whether now is the right time for you to buy. The COVID-19 pandemic turned the world upside down, and the car industry was no exception. Factories shut down, workers were sent home, production of new cars ground to a halt. This slowdown had a ripple effect. Even as factories started humming again, they couldn't produce cars fast enough. The backlog grew, and with fewer new cars available, prices began to climb. But that's only part of the story. During the pandemic, many people avoided public transportation. They wanted the safety and independence of their own vehicle. This increased demand for cars, putting even more pressure on the limited supply. Modern cars are technological marvels. They rely on tiny computer chips called semiconductors for everything from engine management to entertainment systems. And therein lies another problem, a global chip shortage. The pandemic disrupted chip production, just as it did car production. Suddenly, there weren't enough chips to go around. Car makers had to slow down production even further, exacerbating the supply shortage. This chip shortage has had a huge impact on the car market. It's one of the main reasons why prices have remained high even as the pandemic has eased. Faced with production challenges, some automakers made a strategic decision: focus on producing more expensive, higher-profit vehicles. Instead of churning out budget-friendly sedans, they prioritized SUVs, luxury cars, and electric vehicles. These vehicles come with higher price tags and fatter profit margins for the manufacturers. While this strategy makes business sense for automakers, it leaves budget-conscious buyers in a bind. The more affordable options are simply harder to find, further driving up demand and prices. for the few available models. Section 5. Dealer markups. Markups add to the pain at the pump. If you thought the manufacturer's suggested retail price, or MSRP, was the final word on car prices, think again. The MSRP is often just the starting point in a complex and often frustrating negotiation process. While it gives a baseline, it doesn't account for the additional costs that can be tacked on by dealerships. With demand high and supply low, dealerships have been adding markups, sometimes hefty ones, to their vehicles. This is especially true in today's market, where supply chain issues have led to a shortage of new cars. Dealerships see this as an opportunity to increase their profit margins by adding what they call market adjustments or dealer markups. These markups are pure profit for dealerships. Unlike the MSRP, which is set by the manufacturer, these additional costs are determined by the dealership itself. They can vary widely from one dealership to another, and even from one car model to another within the same dealership. They know that buyers are desperate for cars, and are often willing to pay a premium to get behind the wheel. This is particularly true for popular models or those with limited availability. The sense of urgency and scarcity can make buyers feel like they have no choice but to pay the extra cost. This practice adds another layer of frustration for car buyers. Not only do they have to navigate the complexities of financing and insurance, but they also have to contend with these unexpected additional costs. It can make the car buying experience feel overwhelming and unfair. It feels like the system is rigged against them, and to some extent it is. The lack of transparency and the arbitrary nature of these markups can leave buyers feeling powerless. It's a reminder that in the world of car buying, knowledge is power, and being informed can help you navigate these challenges more effectively. Section 6. Inflation's bite raw materials and rising costs. It's not just cars and chips that have gotten more expensive. Everything costs more these days due to inflation. The cost of raw materials used to build cars, like steel, aluminum, and plastic, has skyrocketed. These rising costs have squeezed automakers, forcing them to raise prices even further to maintain their profit margins. Unfortunately, these increased costs are passed on to the consumer in the form of higher car prices. It's a vicious cycle that shows no signs of slowing down. Section 7. Will prices ever drop? The uncertain future of car buying. The million-dollar question on everyone's mind is, when will car prices go down? The truth is, no one knows for sure. The chip shortage is expected to ease eventually, but it's unclear when that will happen. Inflation remains a concern, and the war in Ukraine has added to the uncertainty. Some experts predict that prices will stabilize in the coming months or years, but don't expect a return to pre-pandemic levels anytime soon. The auto industry has been fundamentally changed, and higher prices may be the new normal. Section 8. Buy now or hold tight. Navigating the car market maze can be a daunting task, especially in today's unpredictable economic climate. With prices fluctuating and supply chains disrupted, making the right decision requires careful consideration. So, what's a car buyer to do in this crazy market? The frustration is real, and the stakes are high. Whether you're a first-time buyer or looking to upgrade, the decision isn't straightforward. Should you buy a car now or wait it out? There's no easy answer. The choice hinges on various factors, including your immediate needs, financial situation, and market conditions. It depends on your individual circumstances and risk tolerance. If your current vehicle is on its last legs or you have a pressing need for a new car, waiting might not be an option. If you absolutely need a car right now, be prepared to pay a premium. Shop around, negotiate hard, and explore all available options. Sometimes dealerships offer incentives or financing deals that can ease the financial burden. And don't be afraid to walk away if you don't like the deal. Patience and persistence can sometimes lead to better offers. Remember, it's your money and your decision. If you can wait, it might be worth holding off for a while longer. The market is constantly changing, and what seems like a high price today might drop in the near future. Keep an eye on market trends and see if prices start to soften. Follow industry news, subscribe to car market reports, and stay informed about economic indicators that could impact car prices. Monitoring these trends can give you a better sense of when to make your move. Timing is crucial, and being well-informed can save you a significant amount of money. You might be able to snag a better deal if you're patient. In the end, whether you decide to buy now or wait, make sure it's a decision that aligns with your needs and financial goals. Happy car hunting. Section 9, the road ahead. Your thoughts on the car price crisis? Car prices have reached unprecedented levels, driven by a confluence of factors. The pandemic, chip shortage, inflation, and even automaker strategies have all played a role in this perfect storm. The future of car prices remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: the auto industry is at a crossroads. What do you think needs to happen to make cars more affordable again? Share your thoughts in the comments below.